A racist Californian middle school. I'm sorry. A regular Californian middle schooler decided to put face paint on his face because, well, he plays sports. And a principal that apparently have never played sports in their life decided that that was racist to block out the light in your eyes. Earth to women everywhere. That's what face paint is for. California middle schooler banned from sports over blackface, but group says he was just wearing eye paint. Yeah, duh. A California middle schooler was suspended for allegedly wearing blackface to a local football game. Middle schooler. A middle schooler. He didn't like paint his face black like Jimmy Kimmel and impersonate a black person or Howard Stern doing the same exact thing, or the list goes on and on, or Justin Trudeau. He was playing sports. And I don't know if you've ever noticed in football games, people put black paint under their eyes to block out the extreme bright lights. The 8th grader only identified as JA for privacy reasons, which you gotta love, because if it was a white supremacist, we would get down to this kid's name, we would find everything out about this kid, and we would get rid of him forever. The kid said, we had a fun night, great night, without any trouble, and apparently, according to this kid and people around him, even a black security guard went up to him and helped him paint his face blacker that night and didn't say anything of it. But you know who did? Oh, the principal had to say something. Excuse me, what you're doing has intergenerational trauma. A disciplinary notice. I think this is what my favorite part too at the beginning was right here. But 1 week after the game, 1 week went by. A whole week went by and nothing happened. Nobody was freaking out because you know what? When real trauma happens, it takes a week for people to realize, oh my God, I went through a very catastrophic event in my life. Something really crazy happened and I didn't even acknowledge it. No, usually it's the opposite. Usually a crazy event happens, you go through all of it, then you go in hiding for a while and then you come back out ready to talk about it. Oh, but a week went by and his parents, okay, no one acknowledged it. No one said it was traumatic. No one commented about it. It just was going to go away. And then somebody needs to have their moment of showing how much of a servant they are to the LGBTQ and the leftist cause. I'm here to educate you and to be a voice of reason. The principal at Muirland Middle School called the boy and his parents to the meeting. Excuse me, do you mind taking time out of your day that from working and to come into my place of work and have a discussion about your racist son? A disciplinary notice in JA painted his face black at a football game and characterized the incident as offensive comment intent to harm. This is an offensive comment. Right here, look at this face. This kid. And he's intending to harm. God. Our children have no chance in some of these school districts. That's why you should homeschool your children. Principal Jeff Luna also reportedly noted that the face paint was offensive because Morse High School is largely black. Well, if you go to a largely black school, you would think some of the black children would have said something. If you see something, children, make sure, excuse me, to say something. Okay. God. They responded by saying it was a First Amendment right, blah, 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 blah. Look, if this is an example of blackface, the same as Jimmy Kimmel and blackface, which is apparently totally fine as long as you vote the right way. But if you're a middle school child, you should know better, mister. Or apparently if you're a white woman or you're just a woman and you're going to get pampered, you're going to put charcoal in your face, you're doing blackface, and that needs to stop immediately, or else I'm going to lose my mind. And you don't want to see that. Okay? Can we just let kids be kids? Or maybe learn about sports culture before you decide that blocking the bright lights out of your eyes or painting your face like this is a resemble of like a warrior technique as well, of like, you look tough. I remember like guys would paint like their whole face. They would do like whole face. They would just do a line. They would just make eyes. Like they would do all kinds of stuff in order to look intimidating. That has deep-rooted racism, systematic racism in football, where white players would paint their whole face black in order to pretend like they're black men on the field, when then deep down inside they didn't think, like, what is happening when we start making whole news stories about children wearing blackface? Why is this kid being punished for doing something so silly? Everyone is so, and when I say everyone, I mean a lot of people. Everyone is so uptight and has a stick so far up their butts that everyone is offended by everything, and people are looking to be offended by things. Oh, you missed that? You missed that in the movie? That's because you're not educated enough like me. Let me tell you why that was racism. If you have to think about it, if you have to be educated on it, it's probably not, you're probably not being a racist. You're probably being ignorant. You're probably just being a kid. You might be just having fun. You might be just looking at someone else's culture as well and enjoying it. Don't do that. That's racism. You're basically being colonialistic on my people's culture. And that's offensive. And I don't like that. Okay? This kid better show up to the next game, paint his whole face black as a statement. And every single one of his friends and the parent section and supporters of the team paint their entire face black in solidarity with this child. This child just started GoFundMe to pay for more blackface painting so that he can wear it even more all over his face. These poor kids, man. Get out of these states. Get out of these schools that push this stuff or fight like hell. You know? It's just, we're just such a silly people group. You know, there is actual real horror going around in the world. There are real crazy news stories happening as inflation continues to skyrocket and get worse, and people's measure of life, as Chipotle just decided to raise their prices more, and we're just like, you know what, paying $35 for a burrito, not too bad if you think about it, but this kid is a real problem. I feel like this is a perfect example not only of how weak of a culture we are, but weak of a generation. If this is what offends you, go out, get out of America, and realize there are real racists everywhere. Have a wonderful day, and as always, make sure to like, share, subscribe if you don't mind supporting an independent news channel like myself. Have a wonderful day. Love you. Kisses. Goodbye.